Beacham-Olean. We talked to the mayor to find out the changes.
Hello and welcome to Sbu Tv. I'm Andrea Doneth.
And I'm Liz Witter. A new budget proposal for the city of Olean poses big differences from last year. Katie Beacham has the story.
It cuts some of the padding that every budget has.
Mayor Linda Witte delivered her $15.9 million proposed budget a week early this year.
Tax-wise, it's an increase, but as spending, it came down a little, so we saved a little.
Witte says Olean taxpayers will see a slight increase in property taxes.
Overall, the increase shouldn't be that bad. But remember, we just went through a whole evaluation where we went from being at an 8% up, now we're at 100%.
But that isn't the only increase city officials saw on the budget proposal.
As far as health insurance cost, workman's compensation, retirement, they're all going up, so you have to factor that into the budget.
Witte also created a $1.3 million fund used specifically for emergency situations.
You need to have a little bit of a cushion just in case you have something unforeseen. A couple years ago, we had a water main break. It was a huge deal, and it cost a lot of money.
Mayor Witte says the right changes were made to the 2010-2011 proposed budget, and it should have positive effects for the city of Olean.
I think it's responsible, and I think it takes into account unforeseen, issues that may arise, and I think it's based on, really good figures.
For Sbu TV, I'm Katie Beacham.
The final budget is set to be in place April 15th.
With the flu still a cause for big concern, the St. Bonaventure community continues to take precautions. If you missed the H1N1 vaccine the first time it came to St. Bonaventure's campus, now is your chance to get vaccinated. A second clinic will be held Tuesday, February 23rd between the hours of noon and 4:30 at University Ministries. It will be open to all students, faculty, and their families. The H1N1 vaccine is free of charge, and the seasonal flu shot, which also will be available, is covered under many insurance plans. Director of Health Services, Melissa Gallison Blackstone, encourages students to take advantage of the opportunity.
It's a well-established, safe vaccine. It's most important for people on this campus as students because H1N1 unusually affects people in your age group. This vaccine will reduce the likelihood of you getting that flu.
Viewers with further questions are urged to contact Health Services at 375-2626. When disaster strikes, relief efforts seem to come in all forms. Most recently, at St. Bonaventure University, the charitable organization Souls for Souls has been collecting shoes. That's right, shoes. All shoes, both new and gently used, were accepted and donated to relief efforts. St. Bonaventure University students and community members were encouraged to drop off shoes in the marked boxes at the Riley Center. Souls for Souls officials like the message people convey by helping out.
It shows the compassion that the community has, that the surrounding community, that our SBU community has. So it's a great deal to have people who, have shoes laying around and usually just let them lay around to actually bring them in and donate, help out with our campaign.
Over 1,000 pairs of shoes were collected over the past month.
Faulty gas pedals and problems with automatic braking software in millions of Toyotas were the cause of a massive recall. Dealerships across the country are acting on the recall. Here's my take on the story. When Zach Witzel bought his 2010 Toyota Prius in August, he didn't expect it to be recalled months later.
It's kind of a hit in the stomach.
Witzel looked at several Honda models back in August, but decided on a Prius for its fuel economy. Witzel's 2010 Prius is just part of Toyota's 3 massive recalls. While Priuses have an issue with their automatic brake system software, 8 other models have problems with gas pedals that stick or get caught on the floor mat.
When I bought it, I was definitely looking forward to not having to go to a mechanic anytime other than to get an oil change.
Toyota let dealerships know about the recalls in an email, and they are sending letters to affected drivers.
Well, we've had some that have called with wanting to come in and have it done, and then we've also contacted a lot of them.
Toyota owners aren't the only ones affected by the recall. Dealerships like this one are also feeling the impact.
It did affect us a little bit as far as just people coming to the dealership to look.
They were slow there for a couple weeks just because they had to stop production at the factories.
Service departments are flooded with cars needing the repairs.
Right now in service, we're pretty busy, so we've had a lot of traffic, people coming in and get them fixed.
Even with millions of cars recalled, some say Toyota still has a good reputation.
Most people that come in for service work say that they would still only ever drive a Toyota.
Honestly, I don't really think it changes my opinion of the Toyota brand. I still love my Prius.
For Sbu TV, I'm Liz Witter. Affected cars can be fixed with a quick repair at any Toyota dealership.
Coming up on Sbu TV, we'll show you if Olympic fever has taken over and how one women's basketball player was
why
honored
is
for
the
her
sky
achievement.
blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
You know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
And now over to Kevin with a look into sports.
Thanks, Andrea. It only happens once every 4 years, but do people really understand what they're watching? Amanda Ciavarri reports.
Can I ask you to explain what you're watching?
I don't really know.
What'd he land?
Double McTwist 1270 or something like that, I don't know.
About 30 million viewers tune in to watch 15 events being held at the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver. But few know exactly how the sport they are watching works.
I like figure skating. You dress up in a costume and you skate around the ice and you try and do, they call them axles, little spins, stuff like that, make yourself look good.
They have a qualifying round, then semifinals, and then finals, and they have to throw so many tricks.
That is how one St. Bonaventure student explained the half pipe, which is where snowboarders must complete the course and perform tricks. The athlete with the best and hardest tricks comes home with the gold. Another student shared what he knew about speed skating.
I know that the one who comes across the line first wins the gold, and then that's about it.
Although the rules are unclear to the viewers, the thrill of watching the Olympics has them hooked.
Because it's a way of showing support for your country, and it only happens once every 4 years.
Even I can admit that I know little to nothing about the Olympic sports, but somehow I can't seem to turn the channel whenever they're on. For Sbu TV, I'm Amanda Ciavarri.
Something a bit different today. Back to you, Andrea, for an inside look at someone special.
I've had the honor of living with and playing basketball with Doneth-Mitchell, who became the first women's basketball player in school history to have her jersey retired. Doneth-Mitchell is now the face of Bonaventure women's basketball, but she almost didn't play this sport. She was going to play soccer at St. Joseph's University.
I know I verbaled at St. Joe's because it was my only option. Able to play a sport that I was also pretty good at, and but once I was able to get a scholarship for basketball, I was like, heck yeah, I want to go there.
Before Dana arrived at St. Bonaventure, the women's basketball program hadn't had a winning season under head coach Jim Crowley.
She was first here, there was 100 people in the stands. You know, last year there's 5,000. That's quite a impact and quite a difference, and just, you know, her willingness to compete and lack of fear no matter who we played, I think has been infectious in our program.
As soon as she stepped onto the court as a Bonnie, that all changed.
And certainly we knew within the first few weeks of practice we had something that could be pretty special.
And now, Mitchell becomes the first women's basketball player in school history to have her jersey retired.
It's just something I'm really happy for not just Dana, but her family and for all the kids in the program. Just the fact that the recognition that our program gets now and is so well deserved.
But she says having her jersey retired is a dream come true.
You can name all the accomplishments that anyone has, but when you actually see like a banner with your name on it drop from the rafters, it's a feeling that you can't describe. As much as I tried to hold back from crying, it just didn't work. As you grow up, you think, oh, I'm going to become this big basketball star, but you never really think it's going to happen. And when you get recognition like this, it's just a shock, but I'm very grateful for everything that's happened to me, and I wouldn't have made it anywhere without my teammates.
No matter how the Lady Bonnies finish this season, one thing is for certain. Doneth-Mitchell's number 5 will forever remain in the rafters of the Riley Center. For Sbu TV, I'm Andrea Doneth. As a junior, Dana led the Bonnies to their first ever postseason berth. In her career, she has 77 wins, the most wins in a 4-year span, and is the 3-time All-Conference selection. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Andrea. The Chautauqua County honored local sporting legends with its annual Hall of Fame banquet this past Monday. I'll show you more. Converged upon the Lakewood Rod and Gun Club to honor this year's inductees into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
We have worthy candidates being inducted.
Art Asquith, Roy Caldwell, David Crishone, Dr. Patrick Damore, and Tara Vanderveer made up the Hall of Fame class of 2010. The inductees were presented with plaques to commemorate their moment.
Now, the qualifications for being inducted in the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, you either have to be born in Chautauqua County, lived in Chautauqua County, or played in Chautauqua County some athletic event.
Thurman Thomas filled in at the last second for Kenny Stabler as the guest speaker.
Anytime you mention the words Hall of Fame, it's always something special.
The chance to be remembered forever was something these Hall of Famers were able to do this past Monday.
People have been inducted before and they compare credentials against theirs. Very humble to accept it.
Russell Diethrick, Mr. Sports in Jamestown, is the standard the inductees measure themselves by.
It's an honor and a real thrill to be part of that fraternity.
I'm in 8 Hall of Fames, so they never get bored.
A-10 basketball is nearing tournament time, with one St. Bonaventure team winning and the other struggling. The Bonham women face Richmond in the Riley Center with Amelia Horton in top form here against the Spiders.
It took nearly
Jessica
2.5
Jenkins followed with this three-pointer, and Horton scored again on a drive. Final, St. Bonaventure on top, 58-45. Earlier in the week, Megan Van Tatenhove's layup set the tone against an overmatched George Washington. Horton scored on a dribble drive, and Van Tatenhove's offensive skills were on display twice here. The week's second win was a 75-50 final score for the Bonnies. The men's team wasn't as successful. The Bonnies' Chris Matthews hit a 3 in a close first half against Temple. The Owls' Scooty Randall countered with a 3 of his own as the first half came to a close. Jonathan Hall was the Bonnies' top scorer, slashing for baskets here to keep his team close. Ryan Brooks is the Owls' top scorer and took over in the second half as the Owls cruised to a 73-55 victory.
And Temple's going to be happy just to methodically work their offense. Spin move by Lavoie Allen, no, but...
That's all this week on Sbu TV. I'm Andrea Doneth.
I'm Liz Witter. For the rest of us in the Coop Lab, thanks for watching.
And we would like to congratulate Andrea Doneth on making ESPN The Magazine's District All-Second Team. Congratulations, Andrea.
Thanks, Kevin.